So a seed needs three things to grow. It needs warmth, it needs moisture, and it needs sunlight. So it's going to create an environment underneath there to warm up the soil, and that seed is going to think, oh great, it's time for me to grow, except it's never going to see the sun. What do you have in your hand?
A frog.
Where'd you find him?
We found him in the dirt in our garden.
What was he doing when you found him?
He was just sitting there.
Wow. Is that a frog or a toad?
Toad. That's like a toad.
How do you know that?
I just know.
This little guy was in the dirt, literally buried under the dirt, and he's alive, and that's just super cool. Oh.
I actually kissed it.
So today was a family affair out in the garden. We worked so hard to transform this space. It was so overwintered. I regretfully did not take a before picture, but we had plants still from last summer and spring. And I can't believe I'm about to say this because we used a tiller. But we tilled so that we could loosen up the dirt really well and build these rows that you see and a few little square beds behind me, because we're about to lay out a silage tarp. So I think for this bed, this is our original garden. If you saw my video of how to start a no-till garden, this was where it happened. And we're gonna tarp this one too, but this one's much smaller and the rows are already pretty established. We're just not gonna till this one. And I'm not real sure if that's because I wanna do an experiment and just compare the differences between the two. But I'm gonna rake out my bed areas and just get it how I want it to be when planting time comes, so that we don't have to disturb this much more. So I'm gonna rake out some of this, you know, old dead grass that you see here and get my beds ready, and then we're gonna tarp it. So the plan after we take the tarps up, and I think we'll leave them out 6 to 8 weeks, so probably April 1st, I'll pull them up. Then we're gonna spread this leaf mulch. So I've got several piles of leaf mulch. This is gold right here. And then we'll do wood chips. For those of you wondering, no, this is not our trucks that you always see in the video, nor is that our boat. our neighbor's property starts here. But we'll spread the leaves and the wood chips on the gardens after we lift the tarps. So, and then we'll disturb the soil very little from that point forward. What I've learned about silage tarps, and I'm sure you guys have figured out by now, we are not experts. We are only in year 3 of gardening, so we're very new to this, but I'm sharing my journey with you in hopes that you will be less intimidated about just starting and just doing it, because we've made a lot of mistakes, and we still will, but that's okay. You don't have to use a silage tarp. We just have a pretty decent sized garden, so we bought one, cut it in half, and we're going to use it on these 2 to suppress our weeds. But if you're just starting a small garden in containers on your back porch, or a raised bed in your yard, you don't need something like this. But I just wanted to share the process with you so that you know what the possibilities are if you do get more space. But the idea here is that we will create an environment. So a seed needs 3 things to grow. It needs warmth, it needs moisture, and it needs sunlight. So it's going to create an environment underneath there to warm up the soil, and that seed is going to think, oh great, it's time for me to grow, except it's never going to see the sun. Hence this process is called occultation. So it's blocking the light from the seed. So the germination process is going to start, and then it's going to stop. So we leave this on for a couple months, pull it up, and the hope is that we have completely killed the germination process of the weed seeds, and then we'll apply the wood chips and the leaves to the entire garden, all of it, and go back and plant directly into that. So let me tell you the secret about CHIPDROP that I learned. We were on the CHIPDROP list for about a year, never got wood chips, and I thought that was just normal. So I went back on the website, and my subscription had actually expired. So I renewed it, and when I renewed, there was an option for me to make a $20 donation to the driver. So I thought it's worth a shot. So I paid $20, and we got an email the next day that said an arborist was going to be delivering chips to us. It was a small load of chips that we used up very fast, and so I went back on the website and requested a second load. And this time I made a $40 donation. And within a few hours, I had an email from an arborist in my area saying that he was coming to bring chips. And it's this giant load that you see behind me. And I asked him when he came to explain the process to me. And he did. He was very nice. And he told me that for them to go to someone on the CHIPDROP list who did not pay a $20 donation, they actually have to pay CHIPDROP $20 simply for making that connection. And so they are more inclined to choose a customer who made a donation. So when I made the $40 donation, CHIPDROP got their $20 cut, and he actually made $20 for coming to see me. So, and at that point, I got the arborist's phone number directly so that when he was in my area, he would contact me if he had future wood chips. That hasn't happened yet, but I think that's a real smart way to do it. And I think CHIPDROP is a wonderful company. I'm thankful for what they're doing. But just in case you've been on the list for a while and you're wondering why you're not getting them, maybe try to throw them $20 or even $40 and see if it doesn't make a difference. A couple things you may not know about wood chips that I've learned along the way. You definitely don't want to use those fresh wood chips right against your plants. So if you're going to get a load of wood chips from CHIPDROP or elsewhere, it's important to know how fresh they are. And the pile that you saw that we have has been sitting since last July. So it's cured per se. If you're going to get fresh chips, I did use fresh chips last year. I just made sure not to go within like a 6-inch diameter, so a 3-inch radius around the stem or the base of my plants. I didn't have any issues. There are some rumors out there about black walnut trees being harmful to your plants. The arborist that came to see me actually said that there's nothing to support that that's true. I can't confirm or deny that. We have a black walnut tree within 10 feet from my garden, and things grow just fine. So I don't know. But it is a great resource. I do recommend that you check it out. Mulching is something that I've learned is super, super important and helpful in the garden, and we're going to go a little crazy with it this year. So, well, we got the second garden tarped. And my husband just went to get another load of tires. You know what I say? Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. And we didn't have tires, but I do have connections. And I just asked a few people that I knew, do you have any tires laying around? The person I asked works at a mechanic shop, and so he had tires. So free resources, you guys. And these are super heavy, and they're gonna hold down the tarp really well. So, you know, if you had told me that I would be doing this, I would have said, yeah, right. I remember telling people I have a black thumb and I can't grow anything. And here we are prepping 2 decent sized gardens. One was 40 feet by 32 feet, and this one was 22 by 22. So my great grandmother used to always say, you can do anything you set your mind to. And she's exactly right. You can too,